It's the newest of what I'm thinking of. Sell more freaking foot is in the building. That's all I'm saying. I done did it again, dog. I do this every time, and I don't know why. This is becoming a freaking habit, Snacks. You really got to get it together. Because that is not good. That is not good at all. I mean, it's ridiculously ridiculous. You figure deal me? I don't know what the problem is. Mm. I don't know how this mess goes. Man, I have been so out of it. I have been so out of it. Miss Jeanette Fox is in the building. Your boy has been out of it, man. I've been so busy. So much everything. Been so much everything. It's been crazy. But we been back. What we got? We got food. Ooh. I got me some eats. Y'all ain't got no eats. Thank you, little trick or treat, buddy. The squad is in the building. Look, man, I've been so behind the last 2 days that it is crazy right now. I didn't make a video yesterday, and I'm so tired right now that it ain't even funny. I was doing what I had to do. I just woke up 30, 40 minutes ago, right? Because I've been running around for the last 2 days doing, had a couple of trucks break down. So it's been bananas trying to get stuff on on par because FedEx is such a stickler for what you got to do. And then running last night, coming back, then having to have a safety meeting early this morning. That lasted about 2.5, 3 hours. Had to run back by the office, drop some stuff off, came home, set this up, got ready to do this, and then in the midst of doing all of this, fell asleep. Just sitting there researching and trying to get stuff to pull up. I wake up. It's 1:30. It's like 125, 1:30. So I'm scrambling. I come here, I done upload stuff. Then I start pulling stuff up, trying to set this thing up. And before you know it, it's go time. So I've been moving, man. And I didn't even get to upload a video yesterday because I was just busy all day. Just busy. I'm talking about super busy. So I ain't get to do nothing on nothing yesterday. Colorado, Shedeur, the Dodgers tying up the World Series Game 7. Shit was bananas. But I'm gonna eat that piece of beer. But it was crazy. I'm running around this morning. I ain't watched no video. I ain't watched nothing. I know I missed G. Bush this morning because it was sad morning. Because I'm in my meeting. And it's just done went long as hell. It's just been bananas, right? And I saw where Kevin Stefanski about to throw Dillon up under the bus. Things is just nuts right now. Like, my squad is here. It's just been crazy. But y'all do know, out of all things, the funniest thing that has taken place was now that's funny right there. I don't care what y'all say. That shit is funny. I like that part. That was real bananas. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get some rest, Miss Jeanette. You know, I'm gonna get caught up. I'm gonna get back in my thing. Oh my God, I'm so sick of these trucks. Y'all gotta excuse me. One time I just got an email. I got something else stupid going on with these trucks. I'm getting sick of them. It's ridiculous right now. I mean, it's super ridiculous right now. That I can't even get my shout out to my CU1Ts for taking the time out to do what they do, support and join and say what's up. So if you see the CU1Ts in the chat or in the comment section, make sure y'all give them some love and say what's up to them, because they always in here. And don't act up, don't get crazy, because we hate to come see you out there in these YouTube streets. You know what I'm talking about? But it's been nuts. And to go back and watch what Sean King said most of all is that,
and maybe Shedeur is better than Dillon Gabriel. We'll find out at some point. I'm guessing.
Not maybe, Dustin. Little League, high school,
okay. Say whatever you want.
Early college, middle college, late college. Right here, October 27th of 2025. Shidori Sanders is better than Dillon Gabriel.
Hey, one thing you gotta do, stay focused, bro. I know things may be hard. I know sometimes, you may be feeling down. Just stay focused, bro.
Just stay focused, bro. And we gonna be about that life. Just stay focused. You figure me? Your boy is not in panic mode, and he ain't worried about all the bad stuff that's going on that's being talked about. It's so much going on right now in the Cleveland organization that it's ridiculous. And Shedeur is doing what he said he was going to do. He was staying focused. This week is Colorado's homecoming. It's also Shedeur's off week. And in football, on your off week, especially in the NFL, you usually return to your alma mater, especially if you're off doing homecoming week. Shedeur ain't with that. He got to stay focused. He gonna stay back and be ready for when his time comes because he know it's that close. We almost there. And people just went bananas about
Am I
that.
coming to see you homecoming? Nah, I'm not coming to see you homecoming. I can't make it out there.
My name is.
I wish I could though, but it just can't happen. I got treatment out here. I can't be I gotta get ready. Big ready.
Right. He gotta be ready. He has to be more ready than anybody else. I'm with this chair, man. He has to be more ready than anybody else. Because at this moment, he has no more bigger odds against him than anybody in the NFL. People are counting on Shedeur to fail. Shedeur is the most liked and the most hated person in the NFL currently. And he hasn't even touched the field. He hasn't even played a down. But right now, there is no in between when it comes to Shedeur. Either you want to see him play or you don't want to see him play. Either you like what he's done or you don't like what he's done. Either you supporting all the hype or you ain't with the hype. It's too much. You don't want to hear it. You sick of it. And at this point, with Dillon Gabriel playing as horrible as he is, and every NFL personnel, every ex-player, every former player, every current player, everybody's saying, what y'all waiting on? And you ain't getting no answers. But now the tables are starting to turn in Cleveland. The reporters are like, hey, okay, we got the Dillon Gabriel experience. We seen what that's all about. We not with that. Can we get something else? We got another quarterback back over there. We have a quarterback that was touted to be one of the best quarterbacks in the draft. So what are we waiting on? But Mary Kay was like,
How long do you think that Dillon Gabriel still has before they would consider going to Shidori Sanders?
Well, they want to give him a good long time to see what he can do, to come up that learning curve. And it's a twofold process here. It's not just what Dillon can or can't do, but it's how ready is Shedeur. And if Shedeur were ready in 2 or 3 weeks, then I think they would throw him in there. But I think they have to know that he's going to go out there and be able to function, and not just function, but function in this particular offense, an offense that is struggling in so many different ways right now, and you don't want to shatter a rookie quarterback's confidence. So he's got to be able to go out there and protect himself. He can't retreat like he did in college. And this is a point I made in a column that I wrote the other day, and that is, when you've got a quarterback like Drake May, he can absorb 6 sacks in that game and make enough explosive plays, and they can make enough explosive runs to overcome those negative plays. The Browns aren't getting those explosives right now, so you can't put someone out there that is potentially going to get negative plays or, a fair amount of negative plays without knowing that you've got something coming on the other end. So that's part of it. They have to know that he is ready to go out there and that everybody else is ready to support him in the way that he's going to.
See, I understand what Mary Kay is trying to say. Lil Dillon also played in a game where he had 6 sacks. And he had no explosive plays. He had 52 dropbacks in that game, but nothing said explosive. Nothing lit up the screen. Nothing that Dillon Gabriel has done so far under center has given you the mindset that he is a comparable quarterback, a quarterback that is ready to start in the NFL, a quarterback that can lead the Cleveland Browns to anywhere near 6, 7, 8 wins in a season. It hasn't shown that. But what she also said about Shedeur is that they have to feel comfortable that he's not going to take plenty of sacks because of what they saw in Colorado. And just like in Colorado, you have to be able to put him in a position to where he doesn't take that sack. You have to give him an offensive line that is able to protect him where he's not going to be pressured as much as he was in Colorado. They talk about him drifting in the pocket, but that pocket drift and that thing that they have stuck him with is because pressure was always coming. Whether you wanted it or not, pressure was always coming. And in order to get a head start on the pressure, you started moving ahead of time. They talk about him doing all that running around in the pocket and taking those sacks. Yes, those were to make plays because you have to realize where Shedeur was in college. If he did not make those plays, if he did not do that extra thing to keep the play extended, then he or the team takes an L. Shedeur was the big play quarterback in college. Shedeur was the reason that they were able to win a lot of those games, that they were able to come back even when losing. In a lot of those losses, they weren't blowouts. They were one score games because either they got down by a big margin and Shedeur was able to bring them back, or it was a touchdown scoring match. And they just lost because they didn't have the ball in the last possession. They weren't able to score last. See, they talk about all the bad things he did in college, all that drifting in the pocket, all that moving around. But you have to understand that he didn't have the protection, just like he didn't have the protection in that third game of the preseason that caused him to do all that running around and take those 3 sacks. Because literally in that last preseason game, they keep saying 5. He was only sacked literally 3 times in that game. He was only tackled to the ground and lost yards physically 3 times in the game. The other 2 times he ran out of bounds about a half a yard or a yard behind the line of scrimmage. But they'll keep saying those 5 sacks because they're on paper. In that Pittsburgh game, Dillon Gabriel was literally sacked, knocked to the ground 6 times. Wasn't no running out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage, a yard, a half a yard, or any of that. Those were just 6 sacks. But in that Pittsburgh game, or past beyond that game, you haven't heard anybody being detrimental to Dillon Gabriel about those 6 sacks. You don't hear people speak about those 6 sacks. And I'm sick of this chair. I need to get another. I'm saying you don't hear people speak about those 6 sacks in the way that they speak about Shedeur's 5 sacks in the preseason. But the 6 sacks in the season are more relevant because they really, really count. They really actually count toward your production of the year. You know, but that's the only bad thing that people continuously bring up about Shedeur. It's those 5 sacks in that last game, in that preseason, that really didn't count for nothing. But nobody is jumping up and down about those 6 sacks in the real season that counted against Dillon Gabriel. We don't hear about that game. What we hear about that game is that Dillon Gabriel dropped back 52 times. You don't hear that he dropped back 58 times, was sacked 6 times, and didn't complete a lot of passes and only threw for over 220-something yards out of 52 attempts. That's bad. That's horrible. But you rather focus on the 3rd preseason game, but the 1st preseason game, nobody remembers that. Nobody seen that game. That game doesn't count. That game doesn't exist. In that game where he balled out and did the doggone thing and told Andrew Berry, I'm your boy, I'm going to bring you that sauce. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear about that. You know, you're not hearing that part about all of the things that Shedeur has done right there. You just only hear about that 3rd game, which is ridiculous at this point. You know what I'm saying? At this point, where we at, 8 games into the season, only thing you hear about Shedeur is that 3rd game, because they act like that 1st game didn't count at all. And I don't understand it. How could it not? How can you pretend like that game didn't happen? Like Shedeur didn't go out there and just completely ball the hell out. You know, like he wasn't in a game that day. You know, like he wasn't out there doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't out there just doing the doggone thing. You know what I'm saying? Like he just wasn't out there just, yeah. Like he wasn't out there doing none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like this play, this game, in some people's mind, don't exist in the preseason. It never happened. Because they got to see that. You know what I'm saying? It don't even exist. Which is crazy to me.
From the start, the hard part for myself, if somebody wants me to move off of Shedeur or do something different in this conversation, we haven't seen the guy play. Mm-hmm. I've not seen him play any football that matters and of consequence since the last time I watched him play in college, where I believed he was going to be a really good player. Like, you know how fraudulent that would be to come out and then be like, oh, I think he's going to suck now? What? Based off of what?
Well, you went back and rewatched the Colorado tape.
Yeah, like what happened? Did I find new tape? Are we discovering new games that I'm not aware of? Like it just, and that's the part of this conversation that really just kind of is just very interesting to me, is the amount of people that just, they flip flop from spot to spot to spot. And it's like, based off of what? What are you basing it off of? He hasn't played any games.
99% of the social media conversation about Shedeur and a fair amount of sports media conversation about Shedeur is just emotion. Like logic and, you know, kind of, I don't want to say narratives, but like thinking this out and thinking this through about how the NFL works and how the situation the Browns have put both these kids in. They're out the window. For like 99% of people, it just can't be done because it's a whole conspiracy. It's the tinfoil hat thing. And again, like, I'm not judging anyone because everyone is susceptible to this crap in 2025. But holy cow, is it a lot?
Yes, it's a lot. It's a lot because Kevin Stefanski at some point has to come off of Dillon Gabriel. And like I said, we're in the fifth week of Dillon Gabriel. 6 weeks. I'm all for that. I'm all for giving him his 6 chances. But Shedeur need his 6. Kevin Stefanski has already lied to us from the beginning of the preseason, saying that this was going to be a quarterback competition. And it wasn't. It was a Dillon Gabriel outing. It was for him and him only. You know what I'm saying? Ms. Richard, happy snacks. What up, though? It has to be something seriously has to be done about what we are seeing on the field. Not that Dillon is lighting it up, right? Dillon's not lighting it up. Dillon's not lighting it up. Dillon hasn't been lighting it up. He has never been that QB since the beginning of training camp, since the beginning of OTAs or any of those sessions that we have come to the conclusion that he was a great quarterback. The quarterback competition has been fraudulent from the jump.
Parts of their argument has always been from the day he entered is that he was behind, right? They didn't think that he could evaluate the field and his processing was good enough. Meanwhile, they evaluated Dillon Gabriel and his processing, and let's see how that works. The supercomputer looks like it's on delay right now. It looks like it's got a bug in the computer, but that was the one that they evaluated, and they found out, like, oh, this guy can do it. He can see all the whole field, but Shedeur can't. Like, you see how faulty that is?
Yes.
It just doesn't make sense. 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2 here, and it never has in any part of this conversation.
Yeah, and I think that's where the Browns get so much crap, and where the Browns have, again, it was for their own agenda. It was to try and position these guys in a way that aligned with what Kevin felt, where maybe the front office felt, so that they could deploy this in the way they wanted to, which again speaks to the fact that the quarterback competition on every level was just the most insincere thing, which matters.
Oh, so the quarterback competition from the jump was a farce. It's been fraudulent. It's been unreal. It has really cheapened what we came to expect the NFL to be. Because all we hear from former players, from current players, from former coaches, from everybody that has ever been associated with the NFL, all we hear is the NFL plays the best player. Whoever's the best player gets on the field. We have determined that that is a lie. Others have determined that, hey, they was paying that guy more than me. I might have been better, or the other guy behind him was better. But since he was making more money, they figured they had to get their money's worth. And at this point, we know that merit is not what we're looking at here between Dillon and Shedeur. We understand that purely the head coach likes one quarterback more than he does the other. And people keep asking that question. If Shidori Sanders' last name wasn't Shedeur Sanders, would you even care? And every single time somebody asks me that question, I simply say, you can't ask me that, because there is no way to determine that. If Dillon Gabriel's name wasn't Dillon Gabriel, would you care? See what I'm saying? You can't ask me that, because that factors in who they are. Who they are and what they can do is the point of this. That's the point. Who they are and what they can do is the point. Yes, who Shidori Sanders is matters, because he can play football better than Dillon Gabriel, because we've seen him. We know him as a person, as a player, as a son, as a brother. A lot of us have seen him. And the people who hasn't followed this family, who hasn't paid attention to what this family is, who this family is, what this family has done over the years, call it a cult. They call it fandom, fanatics. Yeah, because we watched it happen. We watched the maturation process from point A to where we are now. We are truly invested in this person as a whole, not because of just who his father is. It's partly because who his father is, but it's also partly because who he is mainly. And those that didn't watch the reality shows, those who didn't follow Deion's career or didn't follow Deion post his career, don't understand why so many people are invested in this one kid. Because so many people have watched this one kid in particular grow into the man that he is right now. It's just that simple. They have been involved in his life since he was 9 years freaking old. What do you mean? People don't understand, how is he so popular? Why is he so famous? People are truly invested in his life. People have watched this family as a whole grow. All of them, but especially him. And it's hard for people who hasn't been through that process. It's like those people who started watching Friends when it first came out, right? If you know Friends, sitcom, years ago, stayed on the air for freaking ever. Became one of the most watched sitcoms in television history. But those people who watched Friends, who sat in front of their TV every week, watched those people grow from little stars to major stars, from people that were making $50,000 to $60,000 an episode to people that were making $2, $3, $4 million per episode per character. You watch that grow along with Seinfeld because they were back to back. The same way they did that, we've done for Shedeur. We've watched them, that family, grow. We watched Shedeur grow from little league to high school to college to pro. We were invested in the person, in the family. And you wonder why Prime is so relevant till this day. Because he's been in the spotlight since the day he's retired from football. He has never withdrawn. He has never retreated. Yes, he's worked in regular TV, but he also had his own TV shows going on at the same time. He was highlighting his family. He was showing you his boys. He took you through all of their life processes. Through Shedeur having bad days, to Shiloh doggone trying to get another car, to getting his first car, to learning how to drive. We watched them grow up. That's why people are so invested. That's why Shedeur's fan base is so freaking big. People don't understand it. And yet and still, they ask you this question.
If there's a chance playing Shidori Sanders would make this offense look any better, or are the problems just right now?
Yeah, I think the problems are bigger in the quarterback spot. And look, I'm not saying that Shidori Sanders couldn't come in there and be better. Maybe he could be, right? I mean, it's impossible for anybody to sit there and say whether it would or wouldn't be at least better. But, you know, I would say that Sanders was the third string quarterback going into the season for a reason. Like, he, just like Gabriel, a rookie. And also, I think, look, it's a lot to pick up. It's a lot to take on. You know, I know in the preseason there were a lot of national voices like, why is he only playing third-team reps? And why is he playing with these guys who are going to get cut? It's like, well, because he's a third-string quarterback. Like, they're not going to play starters with this guy in the third quarter of a preseason game. Like, that's insane. That's not going to happen. So I think realistically, look, does he get a shot this year? If you're Stefanski, you probably throw him in there at some point and say, let's see what the kid's got. But I think if you're a Browns fan expecting him to come in and just be the savior, it's a lot. There's a reason he went in the fifth round. There's a reason he's the third string quarterback. Like, if his name wasn't Shedeur Sanders and it was Johnny Smith, like, would you sit there and still have this clamoring to play him? Like, I don't know that you would. So I think you will play at some point, but I don't think he's all of a sudden going to just, like, turn around the whole thing.
See? And therein lies the problem. If his name was Johnny Smith, would you really care? Yeah, because we invested at this point. We've put in all the work, all the watch time, all the cheering, all the support, all the crying, ups and downs. We've watched them grow. That's what they don't get. They don't understand that. Why are you so invested in this one guy? Because we've been there with him the whole time. We watched it happen. We watched him get in trouble. We watched him do the wrong things. We watched the punishment. We watched it all. And at some point in Cleveland, they just got to do what they got to do.
Happens in Cleveland matters at all, except for when are you going to play Shedeur? So how does, in my mind, who cares who's calling plays? Because right now, with the Dillon Gabriel offense is not working in any meaningful way, and it's nothing really against Dillon Gabriel. I don't care who's calling the plays, who's playing quarterback. Are you going to go to Shedeur or not? Like, how does this move impact that? If it doesn't, then honestly, even in Cleveland, like, who cares? Because you're definitely not making the playoffs this year. So what's the difference if it's Stefanski or Reese?
And they've already kind of said it's not going to be Shedeur coming out of the bye, which I think surprised some people because, once you take the bye to evaluate, Dillon Gabriel, it's not like he's taken the job and all of a sudden we're watching some phenom here in his rookie season. He is, looked good in some cases and obviously has a ton of room to improve.
You understand that? The question is, when are you going to play Shedeur? Because they understand that Lil Dillon ain't it. And it's obvious. You know, the one person, let me tell y'all this. The one person that I was so ready and waiting to hear from was Robert Griffin III. And it wasn't about, I didn't want to hear from him about anything else except for about being two rookies and who gets the practice reps. Because he is the only one currently walking around, him and Kirk Cousins, and you ain't gonna hear nothing from Kirk Cousins because he's just trying to stay relevant to football. He is the only person walking around that was literally in that situation. He was the first round pick. Kirk Cousins was the fourth round pick. They were both drafted in the same draft. Robert Griffin III is the only person that can speak to this point and knows exactly what the hell he was talking about. Robert Griffin III is the only person that can say, I got reps. Kirk Cousins got reps. We split them. But see, he ain't done that yet. And I want to know why. Because he comes out and he talks about every doggone thing else. Everything else. But he hasn't said what's the difference between Shedeur and Dillon getting reps in practice right now. Because he is literally the only one that can speak to that. Because he is literally the only person that has been through that situation. I mean, exact situation, not somewhat like that, the exact situation. He done already said that Kevin Stefanski ain't never playing Shedeur. But we won't know about these reps and this practice. How was your practice and Kirk Cousins' practice when you were the number one quarterback and Kirk Cousins was your backup? Because when Robert Griffin got hurt, Kirk Cousins came in to replace him. And Robert Griffin almost didn't get his job back. He got it back for a little while, then he got hurt again. But Robert Griffin III also has played in Cleveland. He can speak to a lot of the things that happens in Cleveland, in Berea, because it's a lived experience for him.
Oh, Cleveland Browns fans, let's go ahead and cut right to the chase. Kevin Stefanski is never going to give Shedeur Sanders an opportunity. He's not. And I think I understand the assignment now. You look at this game, and Kevin Stefanski is almost like the captain on the ship of the Titanic. He's going down with the ship. His way, nobody else's way. Myles Garrett just set a franchise record with 5 sacks in a game, and they lost 32-13 because Kevin Stefanski is not what's doing in the best interest of the team. Now, why do I say that? Dillon Gabriel, I got nothing against the young man. I think he's a phenomenal college quarterback who has an opportunity to be a contributor in the NFL. But when your coach comes out and doesn't hold the starting quarterback accountable for not playing well, regardless of whether he is a young quarterback or not, doesn't watch the film and immediately comes out in the press conference and says, I'm going to stick with Dillon Gabriel after the bye week, knowing that Myles Garrett isn't throwing his helmet on the sideline because he was upset that he didn't get more sacks. Myles Garrett was upset that his 5 sacks didn't matter. That is a massive problem in the locker room. And when you look at a guy like Shedeur Sanders, every chance Kevin Stefanski has gotten to put him down, to not put him in a position to be successful. He's done it. Kevin Stefanski owes it to the locker room to give Shedeur Sanders an opportunity to compete, have a pathway to the field, no different than any other player. But what Kevin Stefanski is telling all of us straight to our faces is that Dillon Gabriel is his guy, and he will never start Shedeur Sanders unless Dillon Gabriel can't play. He might even play Bailey Zappi before he played Shedeur Sanders. He might go ask the Baltimore Ravens to trade back for Snoop Huntley before he plays Shedeur Sanders. He might even go ask the Bengals to trade Joe Flacco back so he can be the starter before he plays Shedeur Sanders. He might even go to the Raiders and get Kenny Pickett back before he plays Shedeur Sanders. The only way this Cleveland Browns team gets better this season or into next year is if Kevin Stefanski is not there. The only way Shedeur Sanders gets an opportunity in Cleveland to be the guy is if Kevin Stefanski gets fired.
That's a former player. Somebody with that lived experience. But us Shedeur Glazers don't know what we're talking about. He's not the only player that has said as such. You got plenty of former Browns players coming out saying the same thing. What are we doing? Enough is enough. We've reached that point because Dillon Gabriel has put nothing on tape to show us that he can lead this team to wins. Either he's scared or he don't know what he's doing. But this is Dillon Gabriel. This is who he is. This is who he has always been. Yeah, with Shedeur Sanders, you might get some sacks, but with Shedeur Sanders, you also get W's. And that's what matters.
Doing social media, he's got a team around him filming his every move.
Okay.
Well, how he sustained an
And
injury.
maybe there's a video.
Now, that part of it, doesn't that sound? Just ask yourself the question. That does sound, that invites a bunch of questions. Like, how would we not know?
As far as
we know
what?
everything else about his life, but we don't know this? How he sustained an injury on a football
field? Do
field?
you really want to get into the details of that? Are you demanding answers? It sounds like you're demanding answers.
I'd like to know. I don't know why you wouldn't want to know. You're not curious.
Speak this later this week. Oh, they don't.
When you say that, thank you, Owen.
And he wasn't. And furthermore, he wasn't asked after. Hold on. He wasn't asked after the Patriots game when he's been directly interviewed in the locker room after other games.
I don't think he was asked. He wasn't interviewed after that game.
Right. Why?
He was inactive. Why would you make him available?
It's not made available. They're in the locker room. That's what we've been told, right? Anybody can go up to
you can
anybody
go up to
at any time.
if you're in your locker. You cannot go to certain areas.
So what would have happened if somebody would have gone?
If he were, hold on before you say anything further and make yourself look even dumber.
I'm not look dumb at all. I think the people that are sitting there covering up or whatever they're doing, I think they're the ones that look silly.
2 seconds ago, you were just sitting there talking about how it was silly that people were wondering whether or not he has a legitimate back injury. Now it sounds like you're wondering if he has a legitimate back injury.
I'm wondering
you
why
want to talk
we
about
don't.
slippery wizard.
I'm wondering why we don't know what an injury is from somebody who all he does is talk every chance he gets.
I was going to explain to you.
So is he hiding what he has?
No, I was going to explain to you.
Why isn't he being forthright?
Okay, I'm trying to explain it to you. If you just shut up for a second and let me tell you. Number one, it's up to him to let people know. It's his body. He can let people know. The second thing, and I've tried to tell you 4 times already, is that if he has an injury,
he's in high school.
and he's in there with the trainers after an injury, I, as a media member, I'm not allowed to go into the training room. I'm only allowed in the locker room. I'm not allowed in the bathroom. I'm not allowed in the coach's office. I'm not allowed in the training room. I'm not allowed in any of those places. I've been trying to tell you that for the last 2 minutes while you shouted.
But you're saying you know for a fact he was not in the locker room.
I don't know.
Oh, Kenny doesn't know.
I don't know. But if you don't have any audio,
Kenny doesn't know. Kenny doesn't know.
You're a child. You are an absolute child.
Hey, one thing you got to do, stay focused, bro. I know things may be hard. I know sometimes, you may be feeling down. Just stay focused, bro.
Just stay focused, bro. That's all you got to do. And stay focused. Now, I got some more stuff that I got to put up. But this I want to put up. Like Jackson. Like Jackson. That guy. I'm gonna put this up. I just downloaded that. That's why y'all heard it. Cause I want to play it. Like I told y'all, I was asleep, dog. I wasn't doing all the things before this thing started. And to the fan that needed to be done. But this as a whole, I'm trying to find this clip. This one. Let's go.
Most Browns fans, like 99% of them, are just like, who's next? And it happens to be, we think, Shedeur Sanders, although last week it would have been Zappy. So is that where you're at right now? Like, might as well get to Sanders, whether he's ready or not?
No, because I know it's not that easy. And, it's been painted, and it's getting closer and closer to being almost 100% this. Like, the more the coach has to double down on this guy, then it's Kevin and Dillon versus everybody, right? And the score of that will continue to be like 87-9. It's not all Kevin's fault, but, like, Shedeur Sanders has been active for 3 games. They went through a whole summer with not only a multiple-person quarterback competition, but one that had more twists and turns than anybody anticipated, and they wouldn't give him a single rep in practice in August, which is number one. Kevin just said on the record last week, we are not giving him any reps. He's the backup quarterback of the team, and we're not giving him any reps in practice, not 3, over the course of 3 practices during the week, right? So they're telling us, and again, people can get mad at his handling of everything, right? That they're telling us that he's not ready and he's not in the plans. And to the Shedeur people who continually inundate me and everybody and listen, right? Like, what chance do you think that he has with this offense? If the Browns acquired Drake May next Tuesday, what chance would he have going out there with Jerry Jeudy, Isaiah Bond, this offensive line? And we don't know if Judkins is going to play next game, right? So, like, let's get past Thanksgiving-ish and let's see. And maybe it goes so poorly for the offense again past the first 2 drives next Sunday and they lose to the Jets, and maybe there's no other choice. But guys, after next week's game, there's half a season left, right? And after next week's game is like a really important home division game. And even if you're not doing anything this year, which has been clear for a long time, like that game as of now is your only game in the 4:30 time slot. That game is against the Ravens, right? And like this division is as dysfunctional as your organization. So like there's such a long way to go. And I don't know. I have not seen Shedeur practice since August 21st, just like nobody else has, unless you're inside the organization, right? But they're telling you that he's not ready, right? And I just don't know, like how anybody brand new, especially, could come out and succeed here. And when he was last seen, he wasn't ready against the Rams' 4th-teamers.
See what I mean? It's that damn Rams game. It always comes up. Always. It's just that one. It is just that one. But they keep trying to tell you he ain't ready. Nobody knows if he's ready or not because you haven't seen it. You haven't seen it. But what we do know from what we've seen over the years, we know who's better than who. what we saw with the first preseason game and the last preseason game, it's a major difference between the two players when they play with the same offense, with the same people, with relevant players, with players that were better than the other team. We saw the results. That's what we saying. Shady.
Sitting here patiently waiting. I've been real humble, and I said I'm not going to disrespect no other players because I don't need to.
Yeah.
You know, the head coach is doing enough disrespect. It's like I'm wondering, why can't Shedeur get a shot? You got two rookies. One rookie is playing bad. Yeah, he ain't doing much, right? And my thing is, you got a player that people want to see that are curious about. Is he good? Is he a fifth rounder? Or was he really a first rounder? Let's find out. Because everything I talk to coaches over there, because I know a lot of coaches over there in the Browns, and I know a lot of players over there. And they say, yo, the young brother's pretty good. Can he get better? Yeah, because he's a rookie. The same way the rookie that's starting now is just playing okay. And then the old fella that just left wasn't playing at all good. So my thing is, why can't Shedeur start? Yes, give him a chance. I do think before the year is over, they give him a shot. The only thing I'm scared of is they give him a shot. I don't want to see him with the third string player. I would hate to play with the third string guys. Come on, man, you gonna put me out with some bums? How I'm supposed to look? Put me out there with some starters. Start off as lineman, protect me. And let's see how good he really is. All y'all got to do is find out if you have a quarterback for the future or if you got to draft one next year.
Exactly. Y'all remember, if y'all remember, all those that's been in here and been doing the doggone thing for a long time, what have I been saying? Over the season, those chants for Shedeur is going to get louder and louder and louder. Those screams are going to start bellowing up. They're going to start growing, and they're going to start getting louder and louder and louder. And pretty soon, you're not going to be able to stand it. Now, we've heard time and time again, Kevin Stefanski is not on the hot seat. But I am here to tell you, my friend, Kevin Stefanski is on the hot seat. For the simple fact that if Shidori Sanders, like I've told you a million times, once Shedeur gets in this game, and he starts winning, and he stacked 2 or 3 wins, and Dillon ain't did nothing. Dillon has shown to be not that great. There will be a dramatic power shift, because whichever the quarterback that comes into Cleveland and is able to show and prove, Deshaun Watson would have had this power had he not gotten hurt and have shown to be the quarterback that he was in Houston. He could have got Stefanski up out of here. But Shedeur will have this power. Shedeur will be the most powerful human being in Cleveland, Ohio, as LeBron James was when he was in Cleveland, Ohio. If he is able to take this football team and give them hope and show them that we are going to win. He told you he's coming to change your culture. He's coming to put your team on the back and turn your franchise around. And this is part of the reason why Kevin Stefanski don't like Shedeur. He told y'all, once he get that shot, like I've said a million times, Dillon needed to get his shot first. Because if Dillon doesn't get his shot, Dillon never sees the field. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't the only one that felt this way.
Start actually winning a couple games. Now, Stefanski, you got to get fired. Because imagine a world where your quarterback is better than you. Imagine a world where your quarterback is more desired than you. The fan base already gravitates towards Shedeur Sanders. The world gravitates towards Shedeur Sanders. Does he have his haters? Absolutely. But jersey sales gravitate towards Shedeur Sanders. There's not a world now where Shedeur can go ball and Kevin Stefanski can continue to be the coach. Because if I'm Shedeur and I start balling, hell nah, I don't want this dude as my coach. because he didn't believe in me in the first place. And how can Kevin Stefanski now, Shady, try to turn his tune and act like he's a Shedeur supporter? The cat's already out the bag. We know Stefanski's not a Shedeur supporter. So I think Shady's to some degree right. Like, Kevin Stefanski can't afford to play Shedeur because what if Shedeur plays well? And that's the craziest part of it all. If Shedeur plays well, Stefanski, you look dumb.
And you fired. If Shedeur play well, they gonna get you up out of here. You already
about to lose your job.
You already know what time it is. If Shedeur plays well, it's a wrap. It's a done deal. And there is nothing that can stop it. Because why would I want to play for a man who has openly done everything in his power for me not to play, for me not to start? The first thing Shedeur is going to do when he gets that power is put Kevin Stefanski out the pasture. I need me a coach who can support me, who can help us as a team grow. Like I told y'all, see, they playing with him this year. Next year, he gonna have his first 18 starts. And the year after that, they think that Deshaun Watson contract was stupid. After what the NFL has done to Shidori Sanders and his family, when he goes to sign that second contract, you're going to need 14 Brinks trucks, 2 tanks, and whatever else you can muster up, because that's how big that guarantee is going to be. They think Deshaun Watson contract was stupid? You think all of that money was real? Guaranteed? Wait till Shedeur signs his second contract in Cleveland. See, because Cleveland, the fans aren't upset that Deshaun Watson got the contract. They upset that he got the contract and they got nothing from it. That's the problem. They didn't care about the money. They only cared about the money after they got no return on it. They were fine with paying Deshaun Watson all that money until he started playing like crap. And then he got hurt. And see, they both happened simultaneously. Deshaun Watson started going downhill, then he got hurt. That was the problem. The problem wasn't the money. The only person that had a problem with the money was the NFL, because that was the biggest fully guaranteed contract, the only one in the NFL. Kirk Cousins has had some ridiculous contracts. All of Kirk Cousins' contracts have been damn near fully guaranteed. And I don't know how he keeps getting paid that much money. But he does. And I ain't mad at it. Because if you can get it, get it. But when Shidori Sanders' turn comes up, it's going to be ridiculous. Because that's when you get your get back. Because you didn't draft me in the first round. You cost me $40 million. I can't get that money back. But you know what I can do? Since you tried to play me the first time around. Since if things are going like I think they are going in 2 years, when Shedeur is in year 3 of his contract and that 4th season is looming and Cleveland can't do nothing but do whatever they got to do to keep him in this building. Because Then they got that new stadium that's been open up. And they got to get butts in that seat. And they can't afford to let their prize quarterback, the only one that they have had that has been worth a damn in 40 years, go out the door. I'm telling you, Shedeur Sanders is in the perfect position. People looking at it crazy. I'm looking at, dude, in 3 years, when that stadium get ready to open up, Shedeur Sanders' contract is going to be coming up. And by then, he should be the savior of the city. And he going to be like his daddy. He going to ask for so much money, they going to have to put him on layaway. And he can't be denied. They won't be able to deny him. Because if Shedeur has been doing all this, has been to 1 or 2 playoff games in the last 2 years, and it's time to open this stadium, but it's also time to renew Shedeur's contract. Deshaun Watson contract ain't nothing. I'm going to be the city by the lake by myself. I want it all because you should have gave it to me the first time. See, it's get back involved. You just got to play the long game. I want $500 million, guaranteed. Because by the end, somebody going to be already got $300 million. Somebody going to be got $310 million. Working on $400 million. But I want all mine and I want it guaranteed. And these are the extras that come with it. I want a jet that you gonna pay for, that I can use at my disposal whenever I get. Man, y'all crazy. Y'all don't think Cleveland, y'all said they are setting themselves up to be pillaged by the time Shedeur Sanders' second contract come up. And they ain't gonna have nobody to blame but Kevin Stefanski. He ain't gonna be there. He ain't gonna be there. He ain't gonna be there. Is what I'm telling you. It's gonna be stupid. See, I'm telling y'all all this right now. Because in 3 more years, when I say go back and listen to what I told you then. When I told you that $500 million guaranteed is what he needs, and you can't do nothing but say, yes, sir. See, well, what I'm saying is, by this time, they're going to be had 2 winning seasons, maybe a playoff victory or so. They're going to be in the know. And then this stadium is going to be opening up. And you're going to ask these fans to pay all this money to come see who? You better not let Shedeur out this city. Because by the end, the calls will be coming in. The trade requests, because they know that last contract year is coming up. And we talking. The streets is talking. The internet is talking. Coach Prime is definitely talking. Because he tried to tell you. We're going to need all of it. We're going to need all of it. All of it. What you talking about, Miss Jenkins? Just like he told Bucky, he said, this going to be us, meaning he going to get that $600 million. He going to win that Super Bowl to secure the stadium, he gonna win another in the new stadium, the House of 12. Yes. Yes. Like I told y'all, Shedeur playing the long game. He ain't too much interested in start because he know he gonna start before this season over with. The Cleveland Browns have a 4-game home. 4 out of their last 5 games are at home. He gotta touch the grid. He gotta touch the field. Because there's no way you marching Dillon Gabriel out there in that cold weather. Because ain't nobody coming. All you gonna see is orange seats in the stadium. Nobody wants to be bothered. But you want to fill that stadium up. In week 13, Shidori Sanders is starting the home game. But you better start him against the Ravens when you come back home to play the Baltimore Ravens at home. Because if you don't, ain't nobody showing up. And they like to watch the Ravens play. I know when y'all play San Francisco at home, Shedeur will be starting. Because at the end of the day, it's still a business. It is still a business. Now, I'm going to touch on this one subject about these so-called agents. Don't pay that no mind. That's throughout the entire league. And then you throw Jimmy Sexton in the mix. Jimmy Sexton represents so many college coaches and NFL coaches, it's ridiculous. And players. Jimmy Sexton was the biggest agent in the coaching realm for a long time. That come with the territory, dog. That is a nothing burger for real. Just Google Jimmy Sexton and watch how many coaches come up. A lot. A lot. Most of them in the SEC. But that story right there was a nothing burger to me, that Dillon Gabriel and that Kevin Stefanski and Dan Lanning and all Dillon's other coaches are all represented by the same agent. So fucking what? So what? What that mean? What that mean? Because they all represented by the same agent. I bet you if you continue digging, you'll see a few more people that's represented by Jimmy Sexton and that agency. That's a nothing burger, dog. Don't let people get y'all hyped up over that. Dang. Nah. That ain't even worth the fight. You just let that go. You just let that go. What the hell, man? Phone is ridiculous. I'm telling y'all. These people in these doggone trucks. It's really ridiculous. It's really ridiculous the amount of stuff I have to pull up with. All I'm telling y'all is Shedeur playing the long game. Just hold your horses. That's why I've been telling y'all all season, let Dillon get on first. Because he who goes up first has the most pressure. You have to perform to keep the other man off the field. We knew Dillon wasn't like that. Dillon has never been like that. Even at Oregon, at Oklahoma, Dillon wasn't like that. He has never been that. So there was never nothing to be so serious about. You just have to let it happen. I know he ain't getting no reps. That's the bullshit part. That's the bullcrap part. You know what I'm saying? This mess right here, dog. I'm telling you. This crap right here. This is it, bro. Oh my God. All right, we shutting it down. I gotta go. Fleet AI. I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. Y'all be good, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Y'all be easy.